Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Let's discuss the tariff impacts and today's other top stories with our panel, GOP political strategist and insider and the host of Grassroots Truthcast podcast, Gene Valentino. Also with us, editor-in-chief of National Memo, Joe Conason. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be with you.
Gene, many American manufacturers do not actually, make much here in the United States. President Trump says that these new tariffs will actually boost manufacturing here in the U.S. and spur growth like never before. Do you agree?
Generally, we're in a slinky effect. I like to refer to it as the slinky effect. This is a rebound that hasn't evidenced itself yet. We pushed our businesses and jobs overseas because of expenses and costs here in the States. And now there's a rebound because government had a proper role of bringing incentives back on the table to promote jobs locally here in the United States. It just hasn't evidenced itself yet. One thing I'm glad to see is about $50 increase in the stock of Tesla since the threats against Elon Musk began, is evidence that the nation is coming together to promote our domestic economic initiatives.
Joe, it's one thing to have politically biased left-leaning news or even right-leaning news, any leaning news. It should be kind of down the middle. If you give opinion, it should be fact-based. It's another to have our taxpayer dollars funded. So that's what the House Subcommittee on DOGE, they were questioning the CEOs of NPR and PBS regarding their alleged bias. Let's take a look.
Is NPR biased?
Congressman, I have never seen any instance of political bias determining editorial decisions, no.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved.
Why did you call President Trump a fascist?
I regret those tweets.
Do you think that it was inappropriate to put the drag queen on the kids show?
It was mistakenly put on our website by our New York City station. It was not intended for national distribution.
So clearly, Joe, a lot of question answering. Probably she shouldn't have tweeted out that Trump is a fascist. Also to note, 100% of NPR's 87 editorial board members are registered Democrats. What do you think? Do we need to bring nonpartisan coverage back to news again?
Oh, that would be great. Everywhere. Fox News, Newsmax, networks, and certainly NPR and PBS. If everyone could be perfectly objective, that would be a wonderful thing. It's not the case, and it never will be. But sure, you can ask questions of these people. Lots of people have tweeted things that they regret. You have people that have been named to high positions in this current administration who have tweeted out horrendously racist and anti-Semitic stuff in the past. And, they've erased it, or they've, in some cases, I guess, apologized. But it hasn't mattered. And I think, going back over with someone what they may have tweeted in the past is, I guess it's fun for sure, but it shouldn't affect a policy decision about what the government funds.
Gene, just when you thought maybe Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett couldn't get less classy, listen to her reaction to the investigation of NPR and PBS and the investigation into their news practices.
And to be clear, free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. We need to stop playing, because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions of anybody else.
Well, what do you think about that, Jean? I mean, you know, yeah, sometimes we curse this and that, but she's been under fire as well for, you know, mocking Governor Abbott for being in a wheelchair, among other questionable comments. What do you think? In the meantime, you know, there is legitimate questions surrounding NPR and PBS, because they didn't even cover Hunter Biden's laptop story. They called it a waste of time.
Yeah, at the 10,000-foot level first, we've got a situation where we simply must raise the bar and clean up our act and be a little bit more civil and decent to each other in the deliberations, as elected officials in particular. But there is clearly what Joe said earlier, I agree with. I think there's a lot of room for clarification. I think we've all made mistakes in the way we speak and act. My wife will admit to that. But the fact of the matter is I think we've got to get away from the vitriolic tone that has created dissension. Our two-party system at the high level requires a collaborative deliberation between Republicans and Democrats. It can't be adversary if the constitutional republic is to survive. In terms of digging a hole, she's dug a hole so deep she's almost hit China. We've got to get this thing back on track and be more constructive in our deliberations in these subcommittees.
Joe, we have less than a minute left. Do you think Crockett's comments are a good look for the Democrat Party in general? I mean, yes, you can do the whataboutism. What about this person when he criticized that? We're talking about Jasmine Crockett. She's a member of Congress. I don't think anybody, regardless of who you are, should be making fun of someone else's disability.
Assuredly not. And you should give that advice to the President of the United States as well. It's regrettable the number of times he's done something like that. Representative Crockett assuredly should not have done that. There's no mocking anybody with any disability. It's wrong, whether it's done by a Democrat or a Republican. And I would say amen to what Jean just said. And again, say, you know, if you're worried about profanity and abuse of people, you need to go to the Oval Office and start there, because there's nobody who is more of an example to the American public than the President of the United States. And he set a very bad example for a long time. That's just a fact.
We'll agree to disagree.
Indisputable.
Well,
Really?
well, yeah, if you're going to light a match in the gas tank, don't bitch about the explosion.
Jean Valentino, Joe Conason, thank you, gentlemen.
100%.
Hi, my name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. I'd love for you to learn more about Patriot Mobile, www.patriotmobile.com/Gene V. More importantly, I'd like you to be a subscriber to his show. I mean, his Truthcast is amazing. And if you get to listen to some of them, you'll never go back. I really encourage you to come watch it.
Welcome back to The Count. I'm Lidia Curanaj. Moving on to story number 2 in our countdown, party poopers. The Democrats are in disarray this week. Democrat polling showing that only 27% of them say they have a positive view of their own party. That's the lowest rating since the 90s. And of course, Democrats are now turning on each other. Senator John Fetterman taking a swipe at Congresswoman AOC after she held a rally, writing in a tweet in part, "Fight harder," a stunt that would have harmed millions and plunged us into chaos. We kept our government open. Deal with it. Let's welcome in Grassroots Truthcast podcast host and GOP political strategist Jean Valentino, also with us, contributor for The Blaze and former Democrat advisor Will Pierce. Jean, let's start off with you first. What do you think about this polling? Only 27% have a positive view of their own party.
We're winning, Lydia.
Winning.
Winning. I can't take it anymore. Stop the winning. Or not stop the winning. We're doing great. This is a sign of transition. I suspect the midterms will have a supermajority in the House and the Senate. And in short time, I'll just say, I hope we get a constitutional amendment to cure these ills that we're seeing in Congress and with Tesla and with the judges.
Mm-hmm. And then, Will, you're seeing the AOC, the Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett. They're doubling down. They're doubling down on the rhetoric, the radical left rhetoric. Bad move?
Bad move all the way, and I think overall it's just about transparency. We're now seeing what the real Democratic Party is all about. We had Chuck Schumer even earlier this week on The View just going off and saying like, oh, what's really wrong with Americans? They want to keep their money? No, it's the government's money. How dare they say that? Just that kind of tactic, just the overall tactics for years that the Democrats have been doing, the truth is finally coming out.
Gene, we have less than a minute left. Your prediction, I just talked to Ed Henry. Kamala Harris leading the Democrats in a morning consult poll as the favorite to run again in 2028 for the presidential, for the ticket. What do you think?
I can't wait. I hope so. God's will be done. I hope that's what happens. It'll be a slam dunk for the next term of office. J.D. Vance, right behind Trump, carries us forward for a good decade.
And what about you, Will? Real quick.
I think overall, I hope that C runs just so we can win again. Not enough winning.
Can't get tired of winning, Gene and Will. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care, Lydia. Take care, Will.
All right, keep it right here. More of The Count after this.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino from the Grassroots Truthcast. You've got to join us not only for the great shows and entertainment and guests, but you got to join us because our sponsorship is growing. And it would mean a lot to them, not to mention me, if you come on board. And the one we're featuring this week is Luis Sanchez from the Cigar Shop. He owns a company called La Tradición Cubana. The Cigar Shop, Miami, Florida, since 1995. This Luis is really one heck of a guy. He's determined to manufacture cigars based on an unprecedented excellence in quality using old-fashioned Cuban methods. The cigar isn't always cheaper, but it is better. And if, like you're drinking a fine wine, you got to have a fine cigar, look for Luis Sanchez at the Cigar Shop. He helped me find a nice Connecticut wrapper with a Nicaraguan blend. And this cigar has become not only my enjoyment, but this cigar has also become my brand and my marketing tool. If you notice up close, we've got a little label he's put on there for me. And that's my website, genevalentino.com. It's at the Grassroots Truthcast. Now, here's the deal. You go to thecubanshop.com, find the cigar you want, and Luis will throw in the labels for free. But you got to tell him Gene sent you. Tell Luis Gene sent you. The labels are free. These are $50 to $100 values based on the count. And you can get this to become part of your branding experiment. I'm using this with my guests on the Grassroots Truthcasts. This could be your brand on your product, your service, anywhere in the world. Look for Luis Sanchez at thecubanshop.com. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your smoke.